Hi, this is my reading reflection number 3 for chapter 4 of the Funds of Knowledge. So, for the first question, an interesting idea that I took away from the reading was how during the home engagement studies, they talked about the importance of observing a household. And when we think about it, we usually think that this means like asking the family, oh, how many people live in your household? How many years have you guys been living there? Where are you guys from? But in reality, this can also mean looking into the origins of the family, the origins of the house, and how it came to be. I got this like interesting idea from page 84 and 85. It says that notice that household knowledge may include information about farming and animal management, information associated with household role origins, or knowledge about construction and building related to urban occupations. So I feel like knowing about the household like history can help you make a lot of connections of how the family, got to where they are at during that time. And then for the second question, what is one question I have about the reading? I put, what is a step we can take to finding an active fund of knowledge if the family is short with the responses you ask during the home engagement? I mean, like they're just giving you nothing, no matter like how many like questions you keep asking, if you know what I mean. But the quote that like got me thinking about this question was on page 92. It talked about how one of their case study students was Carlos, who lived in Mexico, and he would sell candy in Mexico, and he would just sell anything he could to just sell and make that money. And I find it surprising because they didn't find this observation by my dog is snoring. They didn't find this observation by asking the family about their history. They found it because some kid came over to their house to buy candy, and that's when that question came to mind. And a resource that I found to help answer this question was called 5 Culturally Responsive Family Engagement Strategies by Ari Gerzon Kessler. It mentioned that spending time in student communities to meet families where they are and learn about the lives. This can mean home visits, neighborhood walks, attending student extracurricular activities. So I feel like if you didn't learn nothing about the family in the home engagement, I think the most you can do is, step out of the house and, maybe visit what the kid likes to do, like in sports, maybe visit the neighborhood, see how they live. Maybe this can, make connections of how the student lives and what they like to do. And I feel like that, kids doing something they love will help you ask the family more questions about it. Maybe they will give you more insight about it, if you know what I mean. And then some new thoughts that have came to mind about this topic was obviously I'm gonna do my home engagement soon, so I learned a lot about what I could look into before I get to my home engagement and what questions I can ask, and just be prepared on what I might struggle on, and that most of the details that I find out will not be through the questions I have for them, but maybe through the actions that the kid does, or maybe a tradition that I see the family doing. So I think it's very important to observe the house and observe those little details, because those little details can be something big into knowing why the family how the family structures and why they do things the way they do. Knowing about the routine can lead to bigger questions. So I thought that was really important. But that's about it. Thank you.